The cost of groceries has been on the rise, but the Freegans, an anti-consumer culture group based in Brooklyn, hasn't felt the pinch at the checkout counter. They know all the best places to dumpster dive, and it's part of their philosophy. We caught up with a few of them late at night after most stores closed and put out their trash.
Freegans are choosing, not necessarily out of an economic necessity, but out of principle, to reuse this stuff so that we're not contributing to these corporations that are destroying the planet.
Produce you find is best if used by, so it's not actually expired. Someone who's maybe homeless or hasn't had a meal, take it for free. What's the point? That person doesn't have the purchasing power to buy the food anyway.
But Freegans aren't homeless, and their lifestyle's a choice. These Freegans work odd jobs to pay their $300 a month rent at their co-op and find all they need to survive in the trash. They reduce their carbon footprint, use and reuse items that would be wasted, and many live communally. We wanted to see what they come up with in a typical night, and what would happen if we gave it a shot.
Most of the good food is buried underneath just like cabbage.
There's always bags and bags of bagels, mangoes, strawberries, cherries, peaches, apples. I haven't bought food in over a year and a half.
This potato looks pretty good. Give it a rinse, give it a scrub. Dinner.
There's some cottage cheese. Expires August 11th. It's still good. Dairy stays good for another week.
You've never gotten food poisoning in a year and a half of eating exclusively stuff out of the trash?
No. And people who eat at restaurants get food poisoning. It takes some fighting with yourself based on these preconceived notions of a homeless person in the trash and what your parents' expectations are for you. Or
what were those expectations, or what are they?
Certainly not to go through the trash.
Our country is moving towards being greener, but Freegans take it to the extreme, and it's not something most New Yorkers would ever consider.
I'm into healthcare, so I know every bacteria possible, so I would never go in there.
You don't know how long it's been there, so health doesn't have a price.
$1 million wouldn't give me. If there was money down there, I'd take it, but not food. Ooh.
Despite the repulsion to dumpster diving, we found one brave skeptic with a sweet tooth willing to try.
It's kind of weird. I don't know. It's like kind of dirty.
Why don't you take a cake home with you?
I will. Can I have one? I'm going to try one.
Go for it. Taking a bite is a big step, but way short of full-blown Freeganism. And Freegans are trying to convince the rest of us to make some changes. That's why you'll see Jean, the Wesleyan-educated writer, posing in next month's issue of Cosmo Girl, showing off the new clothes she found in a dumpster off Canal Street.
It's a group we'd never get to expose to the philosophy and practice of Freeganism if someone like me didn't get into Cosmo Girl and sort of infiltrate the magazine.
Don't expect too many fashion-crazed young girls to start going through the trash, but spending a night with the Freegans puts wastefulness in perspective. A lot of people have these supermarkets rewards cards to save a little money, but it's good to know if you change your standards of cleanliness a little, there are other options. For the nypost.com, I'm Dave DeSario.